something like that. Massive stats for him on that KO.
And again, notice 2 mid laners, and both mid laners shut down these early dives, early ganks, everything you want to do as an aggressive team like Super Hot Crew with this new lineup. So that's why they banned them away. And of course, you also want to make sure that you target Froggen, so Selfie, he can get a good matchup in there and actually do well in the laning phase, because again, we saw yesterday, Froggen gets a few kills early on, he will start roaming, he will go down to the other lanes and just kill you.
Oh, that Kha'Zix ban coming in, Impaler had a great performance on that yesterday, not quite to the level that we've seen from the Koreans, but so far it has been picked up. Now, will we see an Aurelia or a Ryze ban? Will they focus Wickd, or will they continue on Froggen?
If they want to focus Wickd, I definitely think they should ban out Aurelia and then pick Ryze themselves into Renekton if Alliance decide to pick it. But then here, look for Alliance. Yeah, EVELYNN is open, Lee is open, ELISE is open, so many jungle choices, but they want this EVELYNN, take it away from Impaler as well. He's not been much of a ELISE and Lee player in the past. He's played it a few times, but not with any good level of success. So I like the early pick of EVELYNN here, getting the early aggression as well onto SHC.
Is going to give the option to Super Hot Crew. All of the other junglers are out there. What does Impaler fancy? Will they go for it? Will Mimer make sure he gets that Renekton in that top lane?
Everything Impaler used to play, Pantheon by, is open. He can just take whatever he wants, even a Wukong if he decides to go with it, if they want to make a combo with Sivir. So there's a lot of jungle choices for him, of course, the Sin ELISE as well. So he shouldn't be too worried about this. It's more about the fact what do we want to pick against this top lane, possibly Renekton, and actually we see Ryze. Could go mid lane, we saw Gambit play it mid, but if they decide to send it top here, it can be to signal, we don't want you guys to pick Renekton because we have the counter pick here.
Have they been doing their research on Wickd? That's what I wonder, because that's two big champions. If you look at his solo queue practice, what he's been playing, you do see THRESH being hovered over though so far for potentially Nyph and Aatrox. Wow, that would be an interesting one for Wickd.
Yeah, I don't recall actually seeing Wickd, at least not this season for sure, playing Aatrox, and I like the fact, I actually think he could still go Renekton against this Ryze and just try and take the fight here, because Renekton would still be an okay pick. Yes, you're going to be outscaled, but it's not like you're going to be horribly losing the lane once you get a few levels. Aatrox against Ryze. Ryze should be able to get a lot of good farm, a lot of good poke. Of course, he needs to be careful that he's not getting jumped by Aatrox when EVELYNN is there for the gank, but that's pretty much the only thing they can do to shut him down. Otherwise, he's just going to scale so well into the late game from Mimer's side. And actually, the Caitlyn pick, we didn't touch on it yet. Tabzz, he loves to play Caitlyn. He's so good on it, and they make sure they get it early. Again, lane advantage because you have Caitlyn now with the possible likes of a Karma here. You have a lot of poke in the laning phase, and it's the style we saw from Super Hot Crew yesterday. Very strong lanes. Every single one just pushed up to the enemy turret and tried to take it down.
You see the stats for THRESH, one of the most popular supports through the European LCS and the North American LCS, to be fair as well. ELISE is the jungler that seems Impaler wants to go with. Had a fantastic performance before. You should look at the previous matchup with Jankos. Jankos went huge on ELISE in that game. Still, in 4.3, a very, very strong jungler.
Definitely still one of the absolute best junglers. That's why Super Hot Crew didn't even have to think about the jungler in the first 2 picks, because EVELYNN was already taken away. They could save this ELISE one. But again, Impaler, when he's been playing ELISE and his Sin, we haven't seen him perform really well. He's been a lot better on the likes of course, Pantheon and Vi. So let's see what he can actually pull out here. Of course, the Karma now for migxa. We saw him played yesterday as well. Very strong laning phase. You're going to constantly push the wave up to the enemy turret, try and take it down early, and when you combine it with Caitlyn, Alliance are in for a very hard laning phase.
Jinx is being a possibility for Tabzz. We've seen some fantastic Jinx work coming out so far in the LCS. We've seen some great plays from these players. But in a moment, just waiting to say Tabzz, is he going to go with this? And more importantly, will Froggen be taking Gragas?
And what I like about this Jinx is the fact that look here on the side of Super Hot Crew. Who's going to get to Jinx? Nobody. Ryze stays in the backline, of course. Caitlyn stays in the backline. Karma stays in the backline. At least you have to repel into the face of Jinx. So there's so many options for Jinx to just stay back here and hammer away.
Looks like with Renekton squeaking through, it will be a mid lane Ryze. That's if this Renekton gets locked in. We'll make sure we'll see whether it does or not, whether Mimer fancies it or whether he fancies that Renekton. He absolutely will fancy Renekton. That means it's going to be a Ryze versus Gragas, which we just seen.
Yeah, we saw it in the Gambit against Millennium matchup where Curb, despite dying early on, giving double buff to Alex, he actually still managed to turn it around and pick up a kill onto Alex and was very aggressive. So we need to remember that Ryze, he is a slow starting laner. The first few levels, he's okay, but he's not going to completely destroy these AP champions who can farm from a distance themselves. And of course at level 6, Gragas, he can set up so many things together with EVELYNN against Ryze, because Ryze, he doesn't have any jumps. So as soon as you get to him with your ultimate, you can knock him back and then EVELYNN can join in. So let's see if Super Hot Crew can actually handle this. Maybe Impaler is going to stay around the level 6 mark to defend Selfie here. But it signals to me, top lane, they want to win it. They want to be very aggressive. Bot lane, of course, the same. And then mid lane should be the focus for Impaler to make sure Ryze gets going early on. And then try and simply just beat out Froggen on this Gragas. And then have Ryze just scaling into the late game.
So coming into this game, the stats don't lie. It would be Alliance you put down as favourites with that 5-win streak right now. But Super Hot Crew looked replenished yesterday. We're going to see Selfie, his new mid laner, this time not on an assassin. You can't really claim Ryze as an assassin of any form. So is he being put out of his comfort zone purely for the meta here?
Well, the fact they early picked this Ryze simply so they had 2 options to send it shows to me at least he's very confident on it. He was one of the people, of course, making this pick and ban phase. Yeah. So he's been saying, of course, I can play this Ryze. I'm confident taking against Gragas from Froggen. So I don't feel like he's out of his comfort zone, but I definitely feel like we need to see something from him here now. Like play a little bit more passive, get the farm, and then scale into team fights instead of the LeBlanc we saw earlier.
Well, you guys at home have been voting on which team will win today. So let's check in to see how this match added up. With 77% of your votes, you have Alliance leading Super Hot Crew.
Well, just like you said yourself, Alliance on a win streak, been performing so well. They are the favorites going into this game, and we have to agree.
We have to agree, and we'll see how it works out for them because, well, numbers don't always add up, as was just proven with Roccat finally getting that victory over SK Gaming and turning the tables once again to create yet more ties in the European League of Legends Championship Series. Super Hot Crew, they are basically fighting to make sure they don't end up in the bottom of the table right now. Millennium, they are down there, maybe even down and out. We will yet to find out. They're going to have to really pull something out, something special. Super Hot Crew, they are 7th place still, I believe, at the moment. They are desperately trying to claw their way out of this one. Alliance, well, they're looking to try and get 3rd place.
Of course, and if Alliance can continue climbing up the ranks here, they can even possibly get this All-Star one. They're still in a position to actually get the #1 spot, especially because the teams at #1 both lost the game this week. So we have to remember nobody's just dominating the European LCS and just going straight towards the All-Star.
They can easily try and squeak their way in there. At the moment, though, it is Alliance starting out as the blue team up against Super Hot Crew as the red team. We'll see whether that aggression that Super Hot Crew found yesterday plays out against Alliance.
And look at this. We have a Ruby Crystal as the first item onto Selfie here. So he's definitely expecting a lot of action here in the mid lane. He wants to be more tanky in case there is a fight. And I think we have to remember with Alliance, Shook, he so often at level 3-4, he goes in towards this mid lane here and tries a gank. Every single game actually he's been doing it.
Yeah, and obviously if you compare it to what Alex did, he went with the boots, didn't he, on the right. So we're actually getting some skipping dancing from Selfie in that mid lane against Froggen, trying to bait him in there. I don't think he realizes that Shook is stood just off to the side, and they may even try and get some poke on him, force him back. They're going to wait till the timer maybe comes down. Look at this, Wickd also coming down. They're thinking, we're going to teach this cheeky young upstart a lesson.
Everyone wants something of Selfie here, but he's staying so far back to his turret. Actually moving out a little bit here, but you see Wickd, he's not going to move around. So Alliance, of course, just scouting away, making sure nothing happens at this level 1. So let's see again. The jungler should be the first thing to notice. Will they both go towards the mid lane with the double buff, or do they have other lanes they want to help? Because, of course, for Shook's side, Wickd should have issues in the top lane, and also bot lane-wise here against Karma and Caitlyn, it can be very tricky.
Rotations coming in here from Alliance. They knew the position, and they're choosing to go into a 2v1 in the top lane, which means Wickd, as Aatrox is being forced into a 2v1. Not sure how that's going to work out. Well, Mimer might get caught out of position here. Nyph is going to find him. Is he going to try and take the hook to start off? He will go with Flay. He's going to get some basic attack damage. Tabzz is going to maybe try and catch up and get a single shot on towards him. I think they're just going to simply force him away.
So Alliance simply said we have weaker lanes when it comes to top and bottom, so we're just going to swap it around, try and shut down some of your early aggression. Normally when you have EVELYNN, you actually want the standard lane so you can put the pressure here, because a lane swap forces EVELYNN to either go and dive a turret or go and defend a turret, so it's very easy to predict where she is. But let's see though, I'm not even going to be surprised if Shook still decides to run in mid lane first.
Bloodwell is available for Wickd, but he doesn't want to lose it quite this early on. I can tell you, from knowing Wickd for so many years, he would not have been more making the choice to go to this 2v1. Absolutely not.
No, he absolutely hates 2v1s, and he was one of the people always saying he wanted this change so that he could get more 1v1s. This time though, because he's against Renekton, he did have to swap around.
Well, he's having to stay well back from this one. The tower pressure is being applied, and of course it means that neither top laners in the top and bottom of the table are getting any CS at the moment. We do see Shook coming around. He's going to have the help. Impaler is there. He may well spot him any moment. Didn't spot him there, actually. Impaler will get seen. He's going to throw the hook out. Manages to land it, but nothing going to follow through. I don't know what they were planning on following through on that one.
So yeah, they don't have any vision of Shook yet. They don't know if he's bot lane to try and defend. Of course, they haven't seen him yet there, so they should expect him to be towards this top lane. That's also why Impaler and Mimer are staying back here, just farming up. No wards, of course, but just the fact they haven't seen him defend the bot lane turret signals to them he is top.
Well, that in itself keeps pressure on Impaler, forces him there, and that means Shook's hit and run on towards his golem. Shook's still hanging around here with that double. The ward has been placed out there from Impaler. Now he's spotted the golems are gone. Now he knows that Shook is around, which means he's going to wait even longer while Shook's like, right, I'm going to take this opportunity, steal your wraiths.
But this is just fine for Super Hot Crew because we have to remember the bot lane turret. It will go down faster than the top lane turret. So if they can just keep defending up here with 2 members, they will be able to get some good damage on the bot lane. Wickd, he actually decided to stop his recall here and just stay in the lane for now. But Shook, he's far away from this bot lane. He actually wants to try something here in mid, but Selfie is in a very good position.
And more importantly, of course, the fact that they saw them, golems gone, they know the information that Shook is up in that top area. It means the bottom lane are completely safe. They've got no wards, no vision whatsoever, but they know that Shook is in that top half of the jungle. Selfie, though, he's in a dangerous situation. Yeah,
if he gets pushed out here, his wave is pushing towards Froggen, so the longer Shook waits, the more risky situation Selfie will be in, but let's see how long he decides to stay in. There they go!
They're going belly slam on towards him. The Ignite is running. They should have enough to dive in towards the turret. Shook's taking the tower hits. Is going to try and get away. The Ignite's running. Is it going to be enough?
Oh,
it is! And he gets the turnaround kill.
So he turns it around. Of course, the first bot went over to Alliance, and now Froggen, he can stay in the lane and push. And Mimer going very low in the top lane here.
Impaler coming back up. Simple defensive duties. The Chompers were thrown down. And Nyph and Tabzz trying to get themselves a kill. That means, well, Wickd again in trouble on this bottom lane. Tower almost gone. That will be finished off. Super Hot Crew with the first tower in 5 minutes.
So once again, we see Shook ganking the mid lane for Alliance very, very early on. Wants to get Froggen going here. Meanwhile, though, it simply meant the bot lane, there was no pressure onto them. They knew the jungle wasn't nearby, so they just took the turret here. If they can manage to defend this one here, Impaler is nearby. He's deciding actually to back off a little bit here, so let's see if Mimer can hold the turret.
Yeah, only now have they just finally used that trinket to place a ward in that tri-bush. They had complete control. They knew they were safe in that bottom lane.
Well, the ward again wouldn't have done too much against EVELYNN. They needed the pink to actually spot him out, so that's why they didn't actually care. As long as they had vision of EVELYNN or saw her gank somewhere, they knew they could just safely push the turret. Just the fact though that Selfie turns it around and actually gets a kill makes it even more worth it for Super Hot Crew.
Well, we do see Shook deep in enemy territory right there. Managed to take away the wolves, but Mimer continuing to just hold this one out. Selfie and Froggen in this mid lane. We featured on them earlier on, and at the moment Selfie did manage to get a kill, managed to go back, got that tier, and he's going to try and start stacking it out. See how quick he can do that though against Froggen.
Yeah, he needs to be careful. He's level 6, and Shook, once again, he wants to try something here. Now Froggen is 6.
Oh, that was a great bounce, and Selfie's completely put out of position. No flash available to him. He's just going to run to his jungler. That's going to catch on towards Shook. They're going to turn this one back around. Fantastic stuff from Impaler.
And Alliance, they're so aggressive around this mid lane here, but Super Hot Crew, once again, they respond. Impaler, he moves straight from the top lane down once the gank started, and Selfie, he just ran towards him and turned it around instantly. They have so much instant burst damage with this ELISE and Ryze combo.
So much confidence play from Selfie there. Once he was caught by that explosive cast, didn't panic, didn't try and run back to his tower, which generally I would say 90% of players probably would have done. He's right, I'm fine. I will just stroll up towards my jungler, and it's going to translate into a dragon as well in this bot lane. If they can make this work out, it's going to give them a 2,000 gold advantage.
So this does mean, however, that Mimer is still left up in the top lane, and Alliance will get a lot of damage onto the top turret. But you just got another kill onto you got a kill onto your jungler, assist onto your mid lane, and of course now the dragon, because the dual lane from Alliance is stuck in the top lane. So Super Hot Crew are really doing well in this early game.
Froggen stepping out of the mid lane, looking to maybe go and roaming towards the top, and that top lane has been completely left on its own. Tabzz and Nyph have done a job on towards there, and they will manage to get that turret down. So all square in turrets, top one finally down.
Yes, all square in turrets, but the dragon, of course, the Super Hot Crew. We need to remember this. Also, there was no vision from Alliance, so they don't have the exact timer for the next dragon. Where Super Hot Crew, if they time it correctly, they can go in there, get some early vision, and just stay and stand ready. Because when you have ELISE as well, we know how good she is at taking these dragons, so they should be in a very good position to get the next one, unless they fall behind now in the following 5 minutes.
Selfie with the blue buff. Catalyst will probably be next for him. He's just going to continue with that blue buff. He can stick around for a bit longer. That means Froggen will be going back there. He's got himself the explosive cask if he needs to try and go aggressive on Selfie. Shook in the meantime in this mid lane trying to steal away the red buff. And well, Impaler's nowhere to be seen, so this will be a red for Shook.
Yeah, and SUPA actually decided to send their dual lane up top here to defend the big wave coming in with the dual lane from Alliance side. Now they're going to push this one out. Let's see if they stay in the lane to try and get this top turret, because Mimer, he's down in the bot lane, and we actually see the dual lane from Alliance coming back towards top. So it seems we got just going to swap everything around, and SUPA crew can do this because the dragon is not up, so they don't care about having that dual lane top.
Yeah, Shook stepping away from that red buff, didn't have the vision, didn't feel too confident, didn't know where Impaler was, despite the fact he was back in base. Of course, our vision we have is of the full spectator client, so we know exactly what's going on.
Of course, and the information he had was the fact he spotted the dual lane from SUPA hot crew in the lane, and he knew his own dual lane was in the base. So he was like, I'm not gonna stay here. If they try and catch me out, they will find me and kill me, because again, I don't have a flash.
Yeah, for someone that's died twice already, didn't want to take that risk. Looking in this mid lane, Froggen is going to get away. Selfie with that ultimate running, just simply going to clear the wave with it in the end. Not a bad thing at the end of the day. It's a pretty fast cooldown, of course, and it's going to give him that little bit of life still he wanted. Mimer in this bottom lane up against Wickd. We can see Wickd with a gigantic CS advantage. Mimer did not have fun in that top lane.
Quite a lot of CS here for Mimer to pick up. As long as he can get them onto the turret, he's all alone because Wickd decided to back off, so he should be able to pick up all of the CS. Of course, also with the pickaxe, makes it easier to get the last hits. Top lane wise, the pressure is on here for migxa and MrRalleZ because they have so much poke. They have good disengage in case EVELYNN should come up there. It will rely 100% on Nyph actually landing a hook, otherwise it's very hard for Alliance to set something up.
And I'm interested to see how that Spell Thief's going to work out. He's upgraded to the Frostfang already. He's gained around about 250 gold from it. So we'll see how that translates, because you can see Nyph didn't go for any GP10 items just yet.
And of course we have to highlight, talking about items, the tier early on for Ryze here, so it's going to stack very early. Remember on 4.3, it's going to give 1 mana every 8 seconds just passively, so it's stacking up faster than normal here. It's very good for Ryze. He got it on his first back after he actually got the kill onto Shook.
Invade coming on from the SUPA hot crew. They've got the duo lane of Tabzz and Nyph in their sights, and that's where they're going. It's going to be a 4-man pylon on this tower. They have got a ward, but is it going to be enough? There's the choppers going down. Nyph's been caught out. Has to use the ultimate to try and kick him out, but he's going to be the sacrificial lamb for the SUPA hot crew. Kill goes across to Impaler. Now we see a Froggen coming in. Explosive cast just decimates Selfie where he stands. He's going for a second. He's going to have to repel straight back on this one. Has he got the rocket?
Beautiful.
He does. And Gragas manages to get 2 kills. Froggen continuing on this one. The death rocket is not available anymore, but doesn't matter. MrRalleZ is taken so low that he's going to get picked off again. It's another kill, this time for Tabzz.
And Alliance completely turned this one around. They had the vision there, so Froggen, he moved up as soon as he saw the 2 members, and it took him some time to kill Nyph, so he got up there. The tower aggro was still on Selfie when he knocked him back into the turret, so he just got destroyed, and then they could just chase it down here, got the kill onto Impaler, and of course MrRalleZ with Shook joining in as well. So very good turnaround. They only lost the support.
Froggen choosing to go towards the Morellonomicon instead of the Athenes and Early Grey, which we've been seeing so often on these mid laners. So we'll see how that one works out for him. It's the other optional choice that you can go. Selfie having to use that ultimate, burn it down, try and come around. They're going to try and collapse on towards Shook. The cocoon lands on towards him. This should be a kill. Who will pick it up? It will be Impaler again. I feel that should have gone to Selfie.
So I have absolutely no idea why you as a jungler, when your mid laner is gone, when obviously your dual lane is not even nearby, why do you walk into the enemy waves? They make absolutely no sense for Shook here. He just gave up a free kill for SUPA hot crew, and they're just, of course, going to take it and say thank you.
Well, Alliance all return to that mid lane. Impaler, meanwhile, with that jungler down, will take away the major wolf, but he does find Tabzz, and Nyph is closing the door on him here. They have the vision. They manage to land pop the cork on towards him. Impaler's going to have to try and repel away from this one. Not too sure where he's going to go. The hook, the death sentence is in there. Nyph goes in, lands the fly. Froggen's going to chase on towards this one. Belly slam is available, but again he gets caught by the cocoon, and Impaler gets away safe.
And Impaler actually did the exact same thing Shook just did. He got caught out here in the jungle off Alliance. He had to use the flash, but at least he got out alive. Dragon now, 45 seconds. The timer, SUPA hot crew will have it 100%. Alliance, they had to guess a little bit because there was no vision when SUPA hot crew took it, but they already have a ward here, so they're going to see the dragon spawn.
Yeah, Shook's got that ward down. The bottom wave had been pushed by Wickd, who we haven't seen a great deal of, because of course when these top laners are in that 2v1 situation, they are basically taken out of the game for almost a full 20 minutes, you could say, unless they're basically being dived on. They actually both did a very good job at not dying when they're in that situation.
Yeah, we actually had EVELYNN, of course, coming up top, but because Impaler was there, they decided not to dive it, so everyone just backed off. And yeah, Wickd, he was left alone in the bot lane. He lost the turret fast, but still managed to pick up a lot of CS and actually doing really well. Going towards the Blade Rune King, so he wants to be able to split push and 1v1 duel.
So, Dragon up. Let's see if Alliance fancy it. They have good Dragon control in the last few games, which is what's put them in this situation in the first place. Nyph going to throw out that death sentence, not going to land it. Of course, you see the cocoon from Impaler. Both these teams trying to do some positional prowess, but who has the advantage here?
And let's see again, if Tabzz can actually stay in the back, if Mimer cannot get to Tabzz, he will be able to just stand behind and just fire away. And then, of course, the ultimate from Froggen here. On something like Selfie, if they can knock him into a line side, they can just instantly blow him up and burst him down. Especially with Jinx here, with the ultimate, it is an execute, so the lower they are, the more damage you will do. And of course, Wickd, he can just jump to the backline of SUPA crew, trying to be as annoying as possible with his passive.
Selfie just used his ultimate to clear that wave, to keep them away from that mid lane turret. They will have the timers on that one. We see migxa with good poke on towards Wickd there, and they're actually starting the Dragon off here. I'm not too sure if they're fully committed to this one. Selfie had actually gone to take the rates in that top half. Not too sure whether he was on the same page. Super Hot Crew, they're taking this Dragon very quickly though. This should go their way. They will get it. Alliance going towards this one. Wickd's going to have his Bloodwell popped. Are they going to try and follow through? MrRalleZ gets hooked in by Nyph. Has to flash away instantly. Wickd flashes out of the danger as well. Nyph is going to get caught out here. He's going to go down. MrRalleZ will land it. That's going to be the explosive cast landed up towards Mimer. Impaler's in all sorts of trouble. Shook gets in. Gets himself the double on MrRalleZ as well. And they are just going to run away from this one. Selfie does not get involved.
And SUPA crew, they invested so much onto trying to kill Wickd. His passive was popped, but he just revived up and he got out of the Dragon Pit. Then 3 members from SUPA crew were stuck in there. Ultimate from Froggen hit them, and then instantly after, Shook just flashes in there, picks up the 2 kills on a very low target, and Selfie, he was barely in the fight.
And you could argue maybe a couple of kills for that Dragon is worth it, but losing 2 towers would not be. Selfie does manage to stick around long enough to keep them away from that inner turret, but I'm not too sure how long for. You can see all the spawns coming back up. Let's check this Dragon fight out once again.
Yeah, so notice how much they actually invest onto Wickd here, and notice the position of Ryze. He's on the minimap here, up in the top side. He's actually joining in behind. He has to run out straight away because Alliance just turns around onto him. Now in the Dragon Pit, look at the members here from SUPA crew. 3 of them are stuck in here. Ultimate hits 3 people from Froggen, and instantly after Shook, he flashes in, piles onto them, gets the double kill. And 3 kills for Alliance, even though they didn't get the Dragon, definitely worth it for them.
And you got to wonder, really, Selfie's positioning. He was off towards the Wraiths at the start of that
exactly,
fight.
Yeah, he went to Wraiths when they started the Dragon. I'm not sure if they tried to bait Alliance to think they didn't actually start it because he was running away. Yeah. But it simply meant for Alliance. They pinged him actually, and then they just went in for the fight because they knew he wasn't nearby. And as soon as you saw him join in from the top side, 2 members just turned around, body slam from Froggen towards him. He had to flash out, or at least run out of the fight.
Of course, that explosive cask, along with the super mega death rocket, is a ton of damage piling on towards that one collective clump of players. We see the gank potential in his top lane, not going to work out. Wickd not going to fall for that one. Hasn't got that Bloodwell available, simply going to ward out that river. He may still well face checking towards it, which is why we're seeing Impaler sticking around.
Yeah, so let's see here. Nobody from Alliance is close by. Mimer is just waiting around. There's of course a ward on him, so Wickd knows everything's going on here with Mimer at least. He didn't see ELISE yet, and here ELISE comes.
There's the cocoon. It's going to be enough damage on towards Wickd. He's not getting out of that one, and he just got burst down quickly.
So Mimer went down here into the river, so Wickd thought everything was alright. Mimer was just waiting for the next wave to come up, so he just stayed there and farmed. Then a very nice cocoon from ELISE. Instantly onto him, they stun him, they kill him, no passive of course, and now they can take the top lane turret.
Well, knowing that that jungler is in the top lane, they know that the bottom lane is effectively free, and that's where Alliance are heading. They're going to rush through this one. They can keep on pushing as well because they can still see those 2 champions in that top lane.
Yeah, very good response here from Alliance. We actually see SUPA crew pinging on to the next wave. They want to push it all the way down before they back off. Right, or Aatrox, sorry, he's coming up towards this lane. Let's see if he can stop it. But Alliance, meanwhile, just staying and pushing here.
Alliance going aggressive, migxa getting caught out, he gets taken down, Nyph in trouble, he manages to get away, Ace in the hole, blocked off by his AD carry. Froggen comes across as well, so this 4-man push from Alliance is continuing. Meanwhile, you can see the bottom lane in the little corner down there. It is going to be Mimer diving on towards Wickd. Wickd getting taken down once again.
So dives everywhere here. The only thing we can actually notice from this is the fact that Froggen now onto Selfie.
Does manage to pile on towards him. Belly slam didn't quite land, and Selfie is going to be able to get away from this one. Flash just at the right time to pull that explosive cask out. You can see that top lane turret in the inner turret did go down, so Super Hot Crew countering very nicely, taking 2 turrets of their own.
Yeah, so Mimer and Impaler doing very nice work up here. 2 turrets, of course, 2 kills onto Wickd. Very nice job by them. Super Hot Crew, They couldn't defend the bot lane turret, also because Froggen, his position was between the bot lane and the top lane, and he just bot lane and the mid lane. He just constantly kept Selfie away from doing anything. That's why they could dive and get the turret. And one thing we saw in the 1v1 between him and Selfie, notice how Froggen delayed his ultimate. He was waiting for Selfie to flash, but of course Selfie, he was just waiting with his own flash, saw the ultimate, then he flashed. So very nice play.
Fast-paced, aggressive games. Just 18 minutes gone in this game, 7 towers down already, and 15 kills. So where are we going next? Well, Dragon's up in just shy of 2 minutes, and looking across the items, you can see, of course, quite a lot of aggression. Wickd, no tanky items, right, apart from maybe the Ninja Tabby, you could take that into account, but that's about it. We do see the Sunfire Cape now completed by Mimer, along with that Hydra, which he picked up at the beginning. Looking at towards the mid lane, as you can see, Froggen is now getting that Rabadon's Death Cap complete. MrRalleZ was picked up earlier on. Nyph will not want to be facing on towards Mimer, but he will if he pulls in Tabzz. Death Sensor's not going to quite land on towards him. He will back away from that one. Selfie, meanwhile, just want to talk about him stacking out that tier, so don't expect him to be going huge until that is complete.
No, he needs more time to stack up his tier, of course, get the core items from him. But look here at Froggen. Blue Potion picked up, of course, and then we have Death Cap completed. He's having so much damage at this point. If they should break out a fight and he can land his ultimate onto 2 or 3 members, ELISE should be ready to win it.
Explosive cast thrown down, and look at that. Shook manages to land his ultimate, takes down the migxa, and will go towards Impaler. Impaler's going to have to repel, but he's got nowhere to run. Wickd manages to get in. He takes down MrRalleZ. Impaler's running through the Alliance jungle. We do see Selfie coming up. He may well catch that Shook. Shook forced the flash away from that one, and Impaler is actually safe, but Alliance, they are a 5-man cluster running up the mid.
They can possibly go for the inhib here. 5 members. Mimer is coming down here. Impaler, of course, recall. Selfie is in a bad position. He's behind. He can't defend anything unless he wants to go and fight here, but there's only 3 members alive from Super Hot Crew.
He's trying to run interference, but he really hasn't got the capabilities, I feel. Super Hot Crew do get around, and they've done a good job. All it was the inner turret, which honestly had almost gone already. So Alliance stepping away from this one, letting Super Hot Crew off lightly.
But we really have to highlight Shook and Froggen here. Every single time something happens, they are involved. We saw here 3 members from Super Hot Crew were pushing the turret, and they just go in and destroyed him. And yes, Dragon just spawned here. Super Hot Crew instantly down there with a pink ward. No vision from Alliance yet.
That's a fast Dragon going down, and Super Hot Crew are going to take it and continue their dominance on the Dragon. Control. Oh, Nyph getting caught out with the slow. The Chompers will go down. Selfie's going to have to step around them. Will he get close enough to get that prison down? No, he will not. And Nyph does manage to escape.
And Froggen, should be able to hold this mid turret because he's having so much AP at the moment. His barrels will clear the waves very, very fast. We see here just instantly exploding the first few minions, and then takes away the next one. So Super Hot Crew, they won't be able to push, despite them having all 5 members around this mid lane.
Keeping that 5 members there means Wickd is alone in that top lane, getting himself some free farm and actually pushing on towards that inner turret. And an Aatrox can do a lot of damage on them turrets if left alone. Super Hot Crew, they're rotating around. They've got a big stack on this bottom. They're going 5-man towards the inner.
And Froggen is far away. He's coming down towards the jungle now. He's the wave clear from Alliance. He needs to be there to kill all these minions. Super Crew can boost, and now they're going to him.
They're caught Froggen out in that jungle. Mimer's going to get the stun down on towards him. The Cocoon not going to land. Impaler repels away, and well, Froggen takes that Lantern straight away. Meanwhile, they do get themselves that top lane turret is going to go down for Wickd.
So both teams decide here to trade turrets, fine enough for Alliance, fine enough for Super Hot Crew. They can now back off here. Of course, they wanted to kill onto Froggen, so they could continue pushing down here. Selfie still staying around a little bit. Let's see if he actually wants to try something. He's been having a more slow game because he's not as mobile as on the LeBlanc we saw yesterday. There's a lot of times where he's actually standing out of position when the fights are starting. And then he's not able to join in because, again, he doesn't have the jumps he has on LeBlanc.
Well, that tier is stacked to 640, almost there. 750 is where he needs to get to, so expect to see him building in towards that Saros next round. Impaler on this red buff, he's got Wickd and Shook coming around. They stood on top of a ward. He's got to be careful on this one. He gets smited away by Shook.
Wow, so Impaler, he wanted to give the red buff over to MrRalleZ. That's why he waited around. He walked towards him, and then Shook just went in, smited it. Very nice play here. Getting red buff, of course, getting down blue buff now. So Alliance with some good map control, and once we have actually seen fights, it's been Alliance who's been the best ones. Always started out by Froggen.
Well, with 10 towers down in 20 minutes, you could argue this is another fast-paced game. We've already had 2 very quick early games of the day, and we'll see how these next 2 go. At the moment, Alliance are finding themselves up against a very difficult Super Hot Crew here. It is just 2,000 gold differential. Nyph getting caught out here. Is the damage going to be enough? They're going to chase on towards him. Ace in the hole. Blocked off by Froggen. It's not enough though because Mimer flashed for it. He does manage to get himself the kill. Selfie tanking up the turret here on towards Tabzz. The damage continues through. then Super Hot Crew get themselves a second and a turret.
So Super Hot Crew, they catch out Nyph first, invest a lot of things to kill him here, and then they just continue going in, and Tabzz steps into range of the Runic Prison from the Selfie, locks him up, instantly bursts him down. 2 kills for Super Hot Crew, very nice play, and catching up in gold once again.
Alliance looking to maybe try and push something. Super Hot Crew, knowing they're low, actually getting baited and going to rush for this one. They're going to try and catch on towards Shook. The talisman was used. Actually, a Telelight was not the talisman. It's the speed boost that Karma gives out.
Yeah, so Karma, again, we have to remember, of course, brings a lot of utility. There's no Sivir in this game, so Alliance side, they're going to rely on this talisman if they want to speed up the entire team, where, of course, Karma can do the same on Super Hot Crew's side.
So, Haunting Guys being picked up by the support. Oh, MrRalleZ nearly caught out there. It's interesting actually seeing MrRalleZ. You can see he's at 1-3-2. He's clearly not having fun in this fast-paced, aggressive game. Yet the rest of his team are doing well. Normally it's him that has to carry him. Finally, for once, somebody else is carrying him on that team.
But it's been so hard for him to actually find form because there's always fights everywhere. You see it's 10-9 here with 23 minutes in. We've seen so many turrets go down. Dragons, of course, constantly be in action. So he's never been just stuck in a lane farming away because he'd had to move together with his team. And Caitlyn at this point with Bloodthirster and the Last Whisper, yes, he has some good damage, but he's not going to have the same amount as Jinx here when it comes to a straight-up fight.
Speaking of Jinx, going to be getting that red buff and will continue his farming way. Neither AD carries really had some free farm from free time at the moment. It's the junglers that have been having their fun time. You see Impaler handing that blue buff once again over towards Selfie. Impaler 4-2-3 and Shook also 5-3-2, despite the fact Shook was actually at, what, I think 1-3-1 at one point.
He had a very bad start, he got it 2
turnaround.
times, then he just turned it around together with Froggen. Every single time there was a chance for him to set something up, Froggen landed the ultimate, then Shook came in with his ultimate and everyone was just low and just died. And we actually see Banshees now onto Selfie, so he wants to make sure that Froggen cannot engage onto him, or at least EVELYNN cannot engage onto him.
Spectre's Cowl also being picked up by a number of members of both teams, and the pings heavy from Super Hot Crew. They are fully aware of Alliance's positioning. Dragon up in just shy of a minute's time. Selfie's rushing across here. They're going to try and catch out. It's actually Impaler's been caught out. He does manage to repel away. Lands a cocoon on towards Shook. Doesn't manage to return the damage. He's caught by a heavy slow there. Has to flash away. They're going to continue chasing on this one. He's going to get caught out. He will go down. Tabzz is the victor on that one. And now Mimer, he's running for his life. Then that's going to be a good slow. They're not going to land the knock upon Mimer. And Alliance are still pushing.
Now again, looking at the vision control actually from Super Hot Crew and how they decide to engage the fights. We had Selfie coming in here through the mid lane, but meanwhile Impaler was being caught out by Alliance, and now actually they're moving towards this Baron. There's no smite, of course, because Impaler is dead for the next 15 seconds.
There's no big crazy burst from Super Hot Crew that could potentially steal this one. They're going to have to go aggressive, or Selfie is literally going to have to get in there and blow everything, which is what he's looking to do. You can see the speed up from migxa. Not going to be enough. That Baron going down. It's got 1,000 hit points left. They take it.
Yeah, you see Super Hot Crew just backed off. They went towards this mid lane here. Didn't want to go for it. Froggen still had his ultimate as well, so he could just shoot them away in case they wanted to try and get the steal onto the Baron here. So very good play by by Alliance actually. Catching out first, of course, Impaler, and then just as soon as he landed down, they just engaged for the fight, got the kill, and then moved towards the Baron.
Well, Dragon is up in 2 seconds' time. Super Hot Crew are ready to try and take this one. Alliance have not backed off.
They don't have the
They
timer.
are actually pushing up towards the mid lane instead. Super Hot Crew get themselves their 4th Dragon of the game, but they only have to get defensive duties. That inhibitor turret is being threatened.
Yeah, and they have to recall very fast. Once again, Selfie decides to come in here from behind towards Alliance. He needs to run all the way around here unless he wants to go straight for the fight against the Baron up Alliance team.
Well, migxa does a good job of clearing the wave off there, keeping them at bay. Super Hot Crew have rotated well. They've got themselves into that position. They are up against a 5-man Baron Alliance though, but they can clear the waves.
And it's funny to see how Super Hot Crew yesterday had issues controlling the Dragon. They didn't pick up the first few Dragons in the game. This time around, they have been putting a lot of focus, but every time they went towards the Dragon, Alliance just walk up the mid lane here and force Super Hot Crew to instantly back off to and try and come around to defend.
Phil Alliance maybe are pushing a little too hard. They have no presence in the top or the bottom lanes. You can see the waves push middle, if not into towards Alliance bases, which is why Super Hot Crew having no problems at all clearing out this wave. Wickd taking a giant burst of damage there. And again, now they've realized it, now they're stepping away.
Yeah, and also with the combo from Alliance here, only Jinx can actually hit towards the turret. He's the only one with proper damage and from range. Of course, THRESH is from range, but his damage means absolutely nothing on these turrets. And it's very scary for Tabzz because there's the option of possibly like a flash rune pressure from Selfie onto him, and then they just pile onto him, Super Hot Crew, and just destroy him.
Well, the bottom wave is slow pushing in for Alliance now, so they are going to keep on pushing, see if they can rotate around there. But again, that wave, as you mentioned, cleared out very easily. migxa not managing to land that inner flame onto edge anyone, not managed to get that slow damage down. The lantern thrown out for Tabzz to safety. He gets, what, 2 shots on the tower? His Baron is not being put to good use so far.
Yeah, and you see how fast he's actually just taking the lantern. As soon as someone from SUPA Crew steps forward, he takes the lantern to safety. Don't want to risk anything, and that's why Alliance, they can't push this one. They need the side lanes, and now the bot lane pushing up now with a good big wave.
Somebody will have to deal with that one, but for now their focus is still this mid lane, keeping it away. Only 2 minions remaining, and SUPA Crew will clear them with ease. Now we see Impaler, Selfie, all heading down towards this bot lane. Froggen is going down there as well. There is a pink ward you can see just off the side, but that is easily cleared. Quick pilt over, quick burst from Selfie, wave's gone.
So Alliance don't actually get anything from this Baron buff yet, at least. They tried to push away, didn't work for them. They could never get towards the turret. They need to just back off here, try and reset the whole map, force SUPA Crew to move out of their own base, and then set up a pick. If they can get some good vision in this jungle here from SUPA Crew, they can try and find them. Like SUPA Crew did yesterday against Millennium. Get this 1 or 2 kills they need, and then go towards the turrets.
And you know, we were talking yesterday about the SUPA Crew, how their scrims have gone. They haven't had that many long games. We're into the 30-minute mark. The pressure almost certainly is on towards SUPA Crew. Alliance have been in this situation many times so far in the LCS as a 5-man unit. Selfie in this mid lane, well, he is on Ryze. He is going to get stronger as this game progresses. Still, you can see yet to pick up his Ceros actually. Hasn't gone in towards that item, which must be fully stacked by now if I just look towards it. It should be. Yeah, completely fully stacked, so he's just waiting on the gold to buy it.
Yeah, again, SUPA Crew, going back to the scrim things, they actually said we normally win on 15-20 minutes every single scrim because we are playing so well in the early game. Alliance have managed to do so well themselves, stop the early aggression from SUPA Crew. We had, of course, a lot of action early on, a lot of turrets going down, but Alliance are actually in the lead at the moment, and the longer they go into the game, and wow, Tabzz, that was pretty beautiful. Yeah,
that was impressive. That was a good rocket steal. He had the ward, you can see, just off to the side of that blue buff, so they had vision of it, but still, to time that rocket at the right time against the Ryze, who's blowing his ultimate on it, was very impressive.
And we see actually fairly early Guardian Angel onto Tabzz here. He knows that he's going to be the target whenever he moves towards to hit these turrets here. So of course with the Guardian Angel, some more safety from him. He's having the flash barrier, and of course the lantern normally from Nyph to try and escape if he wants to hit the turret.
So Ceros Embrace has finally been caught up, and as you mentioned, that Guardian Angel is in there. SUPA Crew just waiting off at the side, maybe going to try and create an opportunity, hopefully get a pick. We'll see what they do. Nyph is separated from the pack, but they're not going to manage to jump and latch onto that one. Banshee's Veil's also being picked up by a few members of Alliance as well. Bottom lane, it needs pushing out, and SUPA Crew ping that one. You see Wickd heading down there, which means we are going to have a small delay in the siege.
And let's see once the team fight actually breaks out. If SUPA Crew decides to pop the speed buff from Karma and just try and roll over Alliance, get into the backline, get to Tabzz, get to Froggen, and that's why they position themselves on the flanks to try and get around them, because they don't care about Wickd, they don't care about Sugar, of course. They want to get this backline down, and they know if they just leave Tabzz to just hit away all the time, they will lose the fights.
So what do we make of this? We're going to have, look, you can see the Dragon up in a minute, Baron up in just shy of 2 minutes, top wave's been pushed out, bottom wave's been pushed in. SUPA Crew Alliance, they're going to be going for a 5v5 at some point, I feel here. Who has the power right now?
Well, again, Alliance been having the map control, so they are in the position to go again into the jungle of SUPA Crew, ward everything up they want, stay around this Baron area, wait for them to move out if they want to stop the Baron, or just give it up for free to Alliance, and then they just have to move up here towards this base again. There's going to be a point where EVELYNN and Aatrox don't even care about the turrets from SUPA Crew's side because they will have enough armor, and that's the point where Alliance can just start diving if this game keeps going on.
In that bottom lane, he's going to get cleared out. The Wicked just drove in. Alliance are slowing things down. Of course, they need to be cautious because this SUPA Crew team does have a lot of damage on it. And you just see the gold. It's only, what, 2,000 gold differential between these two. It was a fast-paced start for both these teams, and it's only fair that they take stock of the moment and realize the situation. They are going to try and push towards this Dragon. It's up in 10 seconds, but they are leaving their mid lane very well exposed.
And this time they don't walk all the way down to Dragon because they know Alliance are pushing up here, because Alliance have been doing it every single time. And this should mean a fight because both teams are very close to each other.
Impaler caught out of position. Those chompers did go down. They've caught out Wicked on the side there. He has got the blood well available. Will not want to use it just yet. Nyph has to throw that lantern out.
So I like the very early damage onto the front line of Alliance here. We saw how much damage Selfie can actually do onto Wicked. That was just a one combo and he dropped down to 50%. It means the Super Hot Crew side, they can actually turn around the tactic in teamfights, and instead of piling onto Alliance, just kiting away, hitting the nearest target all the time.
This Dragon, will it be the 5th of the game? They've caught Mimer. That's not who you want to hook up. Selfie certainly is though, but that shield coming out, coming big. The Wicked going to dive towards him. He has got that blood well, it will be required. But meanwhile, you see Impaler's gone down. MrRalleZ goes down. Froggen catches on towards him. migxa's running for his life. Meanwhile, at the top there, Selfie's going to come back in, but he's running away again. It's going to be 3 members of Super Hot Crew fleeing for their lives. Mimer gets caught out by Shook. Tabzz has got the blood set. He's going to drown towards Impaler. Impaler taken so low. Selfie's going to get dropped down. It's going to be Tabzz with the lantern taken back in there. Pops the cock, does not landed on Impaler, but it doesn't matter. They've taken 3 members already down. migxa's going to come around the side. Where are you going to go, migxa? He's just exposed himself. He's going to run. Oh, the death sentence comes out from Nyph, and that's the end of Super Hot Crew. It's an ace for Alliance.
And look at this team fight here. Tabzz was left completely untouched in the back of Alliance here. Nobody from Super Hot Crew went towards him. And who comes out big? Of course it's Tabzz. Soon as Froggen died, soon as Wickd died, he just joined into the fight here. Picked up kill after kill. Got excited, continued chasing with Shook, of course, and with Nyph. And we have to highlight Shook again. Like, so strong in the fight. Look at this team fight here. Selfie being caught out a little bit, forced to actually flash away because Wickd jumps onto him. Notice Tabzz in the background with his Guardian Angel. Nobody's even close to him. MrRalleZ, beautiful hook by Nyph, getting him into the team. Everyone piles onto him, kills him. Froggen actually dies, but because Tabzz is untouched so far, he can now stay safely and just hammer away, and nobody can even get close to killing him. And let's just see again here Nyph going towards Selfie, flash hooking him in. So Tabzz just needs to turn around, hit him a few times in the face. One more death. And of course Nyph onto migxa. We're going to see just in a few seconds here getting another kill for Alliance. So beautiful team fight by Nyph and good position by Tabzz.
Nyph landing hook after hook, another beautiful one, blind into the bush there. Knew he was around there roughly, and it gives another kill across to Shook. Shook himself, 8-3-4 now, but Super Hot Crew, they've quickly reacted, they've got themselves back down towards that Dragon. It will be the 5th Dragon of the game for Super Hot Crew, but of course, Alliance, we saw it in the picture-in-picture in the bottom corner, they got themselves the Baron from that fight.
So let's see now if Alliance wants to split up into 3 lanes and just push everything up to the turret of Super Hot Crew, or they want to group as 5 and just go straight in and possibly even dive onto them, because we saw before when they had the Baron buff, they could never get close to the turret. It was always wave cleared, and Tabzz never felt confident enough. He's still having the Guardian Angel, so he can go in, get a few hits onto the turret, back off, but it's going to take a while for Alliance. Let's see now here, Wickd pushing up this bot lane, and top is already pushing in favor of Alliance, so in a good position to push up mid.
They're going to rush down on this one, actually. They're chasing on towards Alliance. I'm not too sure that's the right choice there, because Alliance, of course, did just pick up Baron. Selfie and the rest of Super Hot Crew, they didn't quite seem committed in that fight, in that last one. It was like,
it was so
half-heartedly. And again, it's that classic case of going into a fight split in a pincer move, and it just doesn't work out.
And Super Hot Crew really needs, the ulti from Froggen here.
Oh, explosive gas, and the Mega Death Rocket comes out from Tabzz. That is the end of migxa, and that is the end of that inhibitor turret in that mid lane. That will go down. Alliance, they may well push up for the victory here.
It's gonna be hard though, so 4 members from Super Hot Crew, they shoot wise enough. They can rotate to top here, take the wave, push it down to the turret. migxa is dead for another 27 seconds, and they didn't actually invest too much because the ultimate from Froggen is gonna be ready fairly soon. Same goes for Tabzz.
Yeah, that's gonna be quick cooldowns on them. Blue buff, of course, on Tabzz. Won't be managing to just gun that one down. And you can already see it's well past halfway on that cooldown. The top wave will be pushed in here, and Alliance have the prowess to keep on pushing. Lots of Banshee's Veils coming out from all members of Alliance and Super Hot Crew, trying to keep that damage, trying to stop those explosive casks. Didn't quite work out in the last one. Impaler going to be running defensive duty, but I don't think they can stop Alliance pushing now.
So a few seconds on the ultimate from Froggen here, so he won't be able to set something up just yet, but the next wave coming in could be the one where Alliance decide to say, we feel strong enough to just dive you. We know we can win the fight here. And then, of course, with Tabzz, with the double buff and Guardian Angel, he's going to be very scary.
Yep, the ping on that mid lane from Alliance proves that those super minions, they're just waiting for those to walk in. They have to step past those traps. You can see that MrRalleZ has laid out, but MrRalleZ is staying well out the back there. Selfie's the one using his ultimate, trying to blow out, trying to blow everything to keep him away from this turret.
Selfie needs to be careful. He's always running forward here. One hook from Nyph and he's dead. Or the ultimate from Froggen and he's in the face of Alliance, and they can just instantly blow him up.
There are the super minions. You can see the mid lane turret. Selfie is caught out. They're going to throw out. There's the hook. He gets drawn in and just taken down in seconds. Mimer's going to follow. The rest of Alliance pile on through. migxa gets dropped. MrRalleZ sidestepping away from that final pop the cork, but the super minions, they're on the Nexus turret. Alliance are all over it, and they're going to take themselves a 6th win in a row as Alliance stormed the table in the LCS.
Very strong performance against a very aggressive super hardcore team. So very nice play by Alliance. They did give up all the dragons, but every single time they just managed to push up the mid lane. And now the last few fights here, they were just waiting for the right moment, caught onto someone, killed them instantly, took the turret, took the inhib.
It was a brilliant super week for Alliance, and now it's another great week.
They are looking
2-0 in week 9. Can they continue through? Just 2 more weeks remain in the LCS in the regular season, heading in towards those playoffs. This super team was generated for this exact reason, to win things. Froggen put this team together, handpicked every player in this team, and finally, 10 weeks into the season, they're actually starting to react.
And they still have time.